Beyond the Gates spoilers full. Welcome back to our channel, besties. Today is a beautiful Wednesday, and we are absolutely thrilled to dive into the latest, most mind-blowing updates from the DMV. Grab your favorite beverage, get comfortable, and let's get straight into the absolute madness that is unfolding this week. You guys, I am deceased. Stop what you are doing right now. I am literally shaking, clutching my chest, and gasping for air because we need to talk about this Beyond the Gates August 12th episode now. I am filming this while I am literally running errands, holding my phone at a terrifying angle in the grocery store parking lot, because I just had to jump on here and vent before my head actually explodes from the sheer pressure of this tea. We are not just watching a soap opera anymore, besties. We are invested in a high-octane psychological masterpiece where the stakes are astronomical, and I am genuinely, personally offended by the absolute audacity of everyone living in the DMV right now. I am hyperventilating. Send help. My soul has actually left my body. I cannot even begin to process the level of chaos that has just been unleashed upon us, and if I don't get this out of my system immediately, I am going to spontaneously combust. Like, basically, my entire existence is now consumed by this drama, and I am physically vibrating from the sheer audacity of this world-shattering saga. Wait, backtrack for a second, I missed a step. Let me just set the scene because the cinematic mayhem of Kat Richardson willingly walking into the lion's den is straight up giving me palpitations. Kat, sweetie, bestie, you are in danger, girl. The spoilers for Wednesday are screaming that Kat's actions have officially landed her directly on Hayley Hamilton's radar, and I am genuinely terrified for her life. We all know Hayley is not just some run-of-the-mill mean girl. She is a calculating, cold-blooded mastermind who literally just put her own husband, Bill, into a hospital bed because her medical tampering backfired. And now Kat is out here playing amateur detective? I was mid-skincare and smeared charcoal mask all over the rug when I realized what Kat was actually doing. She is digging into the disappearance of Lynette Wise, Hayley's friend who just vanished without a trace. Did I say that yet? Ugh, my brain is mush. Moving on. But seriously, digging into the origin stories and private places of a woman who has zero qualms about eliminating obstacles, Kat is officially unhinged. And don't even get me started on the vibes of Kat's investigation. She has absolutely zero hesitation when it comes to confronting problematic individuals. We have seen her go toe-to-toe with Leslie, with Bill, and now she is poking the literal bear that is Hayley Hamilton. But wait, hold on. I should have mentioned this earlier, but did anyone else notice the weird background noise in that one hospital scene? It sounded like a rogue heart monitor just beeping out of rhythm, and it honestly distracted me for a solid 2 minutes because I thought it was a secret Morse code message from Bill's subconscious. Wait, I'm glitching. Okay, back to the main event. Kat is out here treating this like a true crime podcast, completely oblivious to the fact that Hayley operates on a level of villainy that Kat cannot even begin to comprehend. I'm calling it, the villain arc is about to go nuclear, and Kat is standing right at ground zero, holding a magnifying glass. Hayley is legit terrifying. She is the kind of woman who will smile at you while simultaneously plotting your absolute demise. The fact that Kat is sniffing around the Lynette Wise mystery means Hayley is going to have to pivot her attention from torturing Caroline Lee and guarding Bill's hospital room to dealing with a nosy Richardson. Will Hayley confront Kat directly, or will she do something infinitely more sneaky and devastating? Genuinely, I think Hayley is going to lay a trap. She is too smart to just walk up and threaten Kat in broad daylight. She is going to manipulate the situation, maybe plant false evidence, or orchestrate a scenario where Kat looks like the crazy one. I am literally sweating just thinking about the psychological warfare that is about to go down. Hayley is officially on my do not perceive list. I am so done with her toxic energy, but at the same time, I am totally living for the drama she brings. It is a sickness, I know. Okay, deep breath, because we need to pivot to the absolute dumpster fire that is Danny Dupree. Bestie, be for real right now. I literally had to yeet my phone across the room when this scene played out. Danny is standing right in the middle of the hospital, surrounded by her entire family, Anita, Vernon, and Nicole, and she has a massive, catastrophic Freudian slip. She refers to Bill Hamilton as her husband, in the present tense. I am screaming into a pillow right now, just reliving the secondhand embarrassment. She completely, momentarily forgot that she actually has a real, legal husband named Andre. How do you just forget your husband because you are so wrapped up in your scandalous affair with a hospitalized billionaire? The absolute sheer audacity of this woman. It wasn't just a slip of the tongue. It was a full-blown subconscious confession of her deepest, most delusional desires, and she did it in front of the sternest patriarch in the DMV, Vernon Dupree. The look on Anita's face? Genuinely, it should be hung in the Louvre. It was a mixture of sheer horror, profound disappointment, and the sudden realization that her daughter has completely lost the plot. And Vernon? Oh, Vernon looked ready to call a family tribunal right then and there in the sterile hospital corridor. Speaking of which, the lighting in that corridor was so aggressively fluorescent, it made everyone look like they had jaundice, which honestly added to the sickening tension of the moment. I was fixated on the weird greenish tint on Nicole's forehead before the gravity of Danny's words hit me. Did I say that yet? Ugh, my brain is mush. Moving on, but Syrian. Whistletti dealing with her own devastating news with Kial, and now she has to stand there and watch her sister implode the family reputation. Danny's healthy outburst was anything but healthy. It was the match that just lit the entire Dupree family dynamic on fire. And what does Danny do after dropping this absolute nuclear bomb of a statement? She panics. She is incredibly worried about Bill, who is lying there unconscious, but now she is also terrified of the wrath of her own family. So, who does she run to for advice? Vanessa McBride. Basically, she goes to Vanessa, which is honestly so unhinged because Vanessa is currently getting tangled up with Heather Armstrong and evaluating Noah Rollins. Like, Vanessa has her own plate full of chaotic energy, but sure, let's dump this massive infidelity crisis on her lap. I just know Danny was pacing around, hyperventilating, trying to justify her slip of the tongue. It was just the stress, Vanessa. I was just so worried about his medical state. No, Danny. You are straight up living in a fantasy world where you are the lady of the manor, and reality just violently knocked on your door. I am manifesting a total dumpster fire by the next update when Vernon finally gets her alone for questioning. Meanwhile, across town, we have Andre Richardson, the actual, literal husband that Danny completely forgot existed. Oh, my heart genuinely breaks for this man, but also, he is deeply entrenched in his own messy lore. Andre's public humiliation is basically guaranteed at this point because a slip like Danny's in a public hospital waiting room in front of the Duprees is not going to stay quiet. The rumor mill in Fairmont Crest is going to spin this into gold by sunset. Andre is going to feel the sting of that betrayal down to his bones. But here's the kicker. Bestie's Andre is also separately seeking advice. He is running to Uncle Ted, the designated voice of reason in the Richardson family. But is he running to Ted because his wife just publicly claimed another man as her husband? Or is it because of the terrifying mystery texter? Wait, backtrack for a second. I missed a step. The stalker. Andre has been getting these cryptic, menacing messages from an unknown number, and he is visibly unraveling. He knows his dark past is on the verge of being violently exposed to the light of day. I am literally hyperventilating right now just thinking about what Andre is hiding. Is it tied to the skewer? Is Heather Armstrong the one messing with him? When he sits down with Ted, I desperately need him to lay out every single detail instead of just speaking in vague, paranoid circles. Oh, Ted, I'm just worried about my past. No, Andre, give us the names, the dates, the exact crimes. We need the lore. Ted is sitting there, calm and collected, probably drinking a perfectly brewed cup of chamomile tea, which, by the way, the mug he was holding had this gorgeous artisanal glaze that I immediately tried to Google image search. Wait, I'm glitching. Okay, back to the main event. Andre needs to spill, because if he doesn't, this stalker is going to destroy him before Danny's affair even finishes the job. Now, let us violently pivot to the corporate warfare happening at Bill's law firm, because the vultures are officially circling. Bill is incapacitated, fighting for his life in a hospital bed after Hayley's botched medical tampering, and the power vacuum at the firm is sucking the oxygen out of the room. Naomi Hawthorne is stepping up, trying to hold the fort down. Knowing Naomi, she is deeply protective of the firm's legacy and wants to ensure that they navigate this incredibly vulnerable period without taking a massive hit to their reputation or client roster. She is trying to be the anchor in a massive storm. But guess who is actively trying to sabotage her efforts and derail the entire operation? Tomas Navarro. I cannot even with this man. He is officially on my do not perceive list. Tomas is a junior partner. Junior. He is relatively new to the firm, yet he walks around with the unearned confidence of a founding partner. He is carrying this massive chip on his shoulder. And for what? He straight up believes that he should be the one taking the reins and succeeding Bill. Bestie, be for real right now. You do not have the tenure, the respect, or the strategic mind to run Bill Hamilton's empire. But Tomas is aggressive, hyper-focused on tearing Naomi down, and completely blinded by his own toxic ambition. He is picking fights with Naomi over control, completely ignoring the fact that the real threat to the firm and to Bill is Hayley. Tomas is so obsessed with his vendetta against Naomi that he is leaving the back door wide open for Hayley to swoop in and destroy everything. The clash between Naomi and Tomas is giving me absolute life, though. I won't lie. Naomi is not one to back down, and she is going to serve Tomas a reality check on a silver platter. I can just picture the boardroom screaming matches, the slamming of leather portfolios on mahogany tables. Actually, did you notice the upholstery on those boardroom chairs? It looked like genuine Italian leather, so plush, it honestly made me want to redecorate my home office. Wait, I'm glitching. Okay, back to the main event. Naomi needs to crush Tomas's rebellion before it gains traction. But Tomas is sneaky. He might try to rally other partners or leak information about Bill's condition to destabilize Naomi's position. This corporate civil war is the exact kind of high-stakes drama that makes me physically vibrate with excitement. When you zoom out and look at the entire landscape of August 12th, it is a masterclass in interconnected chaos. Every single storyline is bleeding into the next. You have Bill at the center, unconscious but still the gravitational pull for all this madness. Hayley is hovering over him like a venomous spider, while simultaneously painting a target on Kat's back. Kat is digging into Lynette Wise, completely unaware that she is about to trigger a landmine. Danny is crying in the hospital corridors, exposing her affair to her conservative family and seeking comfort from Vanessa, who is already dealing with the Armstrong siblings. Andre is hiding from a stalker and seeking counsel from Ted, while his marriage is publicly disintegrating. And Naomi and Tomas are fighting over the scraps of Bill's empire. It is a symphony of destruction, and I am the conductor of my own emotional train wreck watching it all unfold. I genuinely do not know how we are supposed to survive the rest of this week. I am losing sleep. I am sending manic voice notes to the group chat at 4 a.m., screaming about Danny's Freudian slip and Kat's impending doom. My friends think I need professional help, but they just don't understand the gravity of these events. This is not just television. This is a lifestyle. I am so deep in the lore that my grip on reality is actively slipping. When I went to the barista this morning to order my iced matcha, I almost called him Bill because my brain is just a continuous loop of Beyond the Gates trauma. I am literally hyperventilating right now. The emotional damage this show is inflicting on me is profound, yet I keep coming back for more because I am a glutton for punishment. Let's talk about Hayley's psychology for a second, because we need to understand the monster Kat is dealing with. Hayley's entire identity is wrapped up in control. When she tampered with Bill's medical care, it wasn't just out of spite. It was a desperate, unhinged attempt to maintain her grip on him. And when that backfired, and Caroline Lee had to step in to save him, Hayley's ego took a massive hit. Now, Bill is waking up and immediately reaching out to Danny. The absolute rage boiling inside Hayley must be toxic. And right at this moment of peak instability, Kat Richardson decides to start asking questions about Lynette Wise. It is the perfect storm. Hayley is going to project all her fury, all her jealousy over Danny, and all her humiliation over Caroline directly onto Kat. Kat is going to be the sacrificial lamb for Hayley's bruised ego. I am calling it right now. And then we have Danny. Sweet, delusional Danny. The psychology behind her slip is fascinating and horrifying. She has compartmentalized her life so severely that her brain actually short-circuited under stress. In her mind, the intense emotional connection she shares with Bill has superseded her legal, actual marriage to Andre. Calling Bill her husband wasn't a mistake. It was her subconscious screaming its truth in the worst possible environment. The fallout with Anita and Vernon is going to be biblical. Vernon is a stern patriarch. He demands respect and order. Danny has brought chaos and scandal to the Dupree name. The interrogation she is going to face will be brutal. And the fact that she runs to Vanessa instead of facing the music shows just how emotionally immature she is being in this crisis. She is looking for an echo chamber, someone to validate her worry, rather than hold her accountable for her absolute mess of a life. Andre's situation is arguably the darkest. While everyone else is dealing with relationship drama and corporate greed, Andre is fighting a psychological thriller. The stalker messaging him knows his deepest secrets. When he sits with Ted, you can see the sheer exhaustion in his eyes. He is a man backed into a corner. Is he going to confess everything to Ted? Or is he going to give half-truths, trying to manage the fallout before the stalker goes public? The tension is unbearable. If the stalker is Heather Armstrong, the skewer, then Andre is dealing with a lethal threat. Heather is already manipulating Vanessa and fighting with Joey. She thrives on chaos. If she is the one pulling Andre's strings, his life is about to become a living nightmare. And all of this is happening while his wife is publicly claiming another man. Andre is going to snap, manifesting a total dumpster fire for his character arc, because the stoic facade has to break eventually. As for the law firm, Tomas Navarro represents the ultimate entitlement. He sees Bill's tragedy as a ladder. It is sickening, but it is also incredibly realistic for the cutthroat corporate world of Fairmont Crest. Naomi is fighting a two-front war. She has to protect the firm from external threats, like Hayley's interference or public scandal, and internal rot. Tomas's refusal to recognize Hayley as the true threat is his fatal flaw. He is so blinded by his rivalry with Naomi that he doesn't see the giant manicured hand of Hayley Hamilton ready to crush the entire firm. Naomi is going to have to play dirty to neutralize Tomas. I want to see her completely obliterate his career prospects. I want her to find a loophole in his contract and exile him to a windowless basement office. They are officially on my do not perceive list until Naomi gets the respect she deserves. Okay, my heart rate is finally starting to return to a somewhat normal rhythm, but I am still physically unwell from processing all of this. To recap, Kat is walking into a death trap set by a medically tampering sociopath. Danny has publicly immolated her marriage in front of her terrifying parents. Andre is being hunted by a ghost from his past, and Naomi is fighting a corporate civil war against an arrogant man-child. I am calling it right now. By the end of this week, someone is going to end up in the hospital bed right next to Bill, and my money is on Kat or Tomas. Manifesting a total dumpster fire by the next update, besties. I need to go lie down on the floor and stare at the ceiling for at least 3 hours to recover from this. Stay hydrated, stay vigilant, and trust absolutely no one in the DMV. I will see you in the next one, assuming I survive the stress.